They say ignorance is bliss. But is there actually scientific evidence behind this age-old saying? As it turns out, yes, and the implications are both fascinating and disturbing. Have you ever noticed how some of the most intelligent people you know seem perpetually worried, overthinking everything, while your less intellectually gifted friends float through life with a smile? That's not a coincidence. That's neuroscience. Think about the last time you were at a party. Who was having more fun? The philosophy PhD student in the corner contemplating the meaninglessness of small talk, or the guy who can barely spell existential, but is dancing without a care in the world? Multiple studies from Harvard, Oxford, and other leading research institutions have found a disturbing correlation. Higher intelligence often predicts lower happiness and life satisfaction. The smarter you are, by conventional measures, the more likely you are to experience depression, anxiety, and existential dread. But why? First, intelligent people tend to overthink. Their brains are constantly active, analyzing problems that don't exist yet, ruminating on past mistakes, and imagining future catastrophes. They see nuance and complexity everywhere, which means they're rarely at peace. They're mentally time-traveling instead of experiencing the present moment. The less intelligent mind? It stays where evolution designed it to be, right here, right now. Present in the moment. Enjoying simple pleasures without questioning their significance. This isn't just speculation. Researchers at Maastricht University found that people with higher IQs were more likely to spend time ruminating, repeatedly thinking about problems, mistakes, and negative aspects of their lives. This rumination directly contributed to higher rates of anxiety and depression. The second reason is expectations. Smart people often set incredibly high standards for themselves and others. They can articulate exactly how the world falls short of their ideals. When you can envision perfection but have to live in reality, disappointment becomes your constant companion. Meanwhile, individuals with lower cognitive abilities tend to have more realistic, or even lower, expectations. They're more easily satisfied because the gap between what they want and what they have is smaller. A study published in the journal Intelligence found that highly intelligent individuals reported significantly higher levels of life dissatisfaction, with researchers concluding that the ignorance of the many is more conducive to happiness than the knowledge of the few. But perhaps the most compelling reason comes down to social connection. Humans evolved in small tribes where fitting in meant survival. Being average was adaptive. Being too different? That was dangerous. Highly intelligent people often feel like outsiders from an early age. They think differently, have unusual interests, and struggle to relate to peers who don't share their depth of thought. This creates a profound sense of alienation. Ernest Hemingway captured this perfectly when he wrote, "Happiness in intelligent people is the rarest thing I know." Look at societal patterns. High IQ havens like the tech industry or academia have disproportionately high rates of mental health issues. Meanwhile, communities with lower average education levels often report higher levels of day-to-day happiness and stronger social bonds. Then there's the awareness factor. Intelligent people are more likely to stay informed about global problems, climate change, political corruption, social injustice. They consume more news, read more books, and have a deeper understanding of the world's complexity. This awareness becomes a burden. As the philosopher Bertrand Russell noted, the trouble with the world is that the stupid are cocksure and the intelligent are full of doubt. That doubt extends to everything. Smart people question their relationships, career choices, and even the fundamental meaning of their existence. They're more likely to experience the particular form of despair that comes from recognizing the absurdity of human life. Less intellectually gifted individuals? They're more likely to find comfort in simple explanations and traditional structures. Religious faith, which correlates inversely with IQ in many studies, provides ready-made answers to life's biggest questions. When you don't question the narrative, you don't experience the vertigo of uncertainty. I'm not suggesting we should all aspire to be less intelligent. Intelligence brings tremendous benefits to individuals and society. But perhaps we should question our cultural worship of cognitive ability as the ultimate human trait. The happiest people I know aren't necessarily the smartest. They're the ones who have mastered the art of simple joy, who can find pleasure in a sunset without wondering about atmospheric science, who can love without analyzing the evolutionary psychology behind their feelings. So where does this leave the intelligent among us? Are we doomed to unhappiness as the price of our cognitive gifts? Not necessarily. But it does mean we have to work harder for our happiness. We need to deliberately practice mindfulness to quiet our overactive brains. We need to build communities with others who understand our particular form of neurodiversity. And sometimes, just sometimes, we need to learn from those we might intellectually dismiss. Because there's a particular kind of wisdom in the capacity for uncomplicated joy, a wisdom that has nothing to do with IQ points.